we're people just like you, and together we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit nationalguard.com/MN to find out more. Sponsored by the Minnesota Army National Guard, aired by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station.
With its increased efficiency and lower fuel costs, ag producers know that propane is better for their bottom line. And now, participating in the Propane Farm Research Program can impact your bottom line. Share your propane equipment performance data and you can receive compensation, like up to $5,000 towards towable generators and generators for backup power, and up to $2,000 for propane building heat systems. To take advantage of all the ways propane is better for your bottom line, start your application today at propane.com/PFRP.
When your garage door stops working, life gets inconvenient fast. From broken rollers to full garage door makeovers, Easy Open Garage Doors does it all. Make it easy and give Easy Open Garage Door a call at 770-DOOR.
This is M&N Sports. I'm Mike Grimm. The season's over for the Lynx, who lost 3 straight games for the first time all season. They fell to Phoenix in the WNBA semifinals, losing Game 4 last night 86-81. It was the second time in the series the Lynx blew a double-digit fourth-quarter lead. Kayla McBride scored 31 points and was emotional after the season-ending setback.
It's hard, especially when you lay everything out there. As a vet and as somebody who's older, you know, I feel everything, because I just care about people around me. And I've always been like that. That's how I move. That's how I've always moved in this league. I just care.
The season's also over for the Twins. They lost at Philadelphia in the regular season finale 2-1 in extra innings yesterday. News not much better for the Vikings. They lost to the Steelers in Ireland yesterday, 24-21. Pittsburgh held a 24-6 fourth-quarter lead. The Vikings put on a rally, but it came up short. Justin Jefferson had 10 catches for 126 yards. The Wild lost to the Chicago Blackhawks in preseason play last night 4-1. This is M&N Sports.
What is dementia? Is it the same as Alzheimer's? What is vascular dementia, Lewy body, FTD, TBI, and CTE? If someone has memory loss, does that mean they have dementia? Millions of Americans ask these questions every day. I did too, and I learned. My wife Ginny developed dementia. I didn't know what to do or what was coming next. I'm Kevin Jameson, volunteer and president of the Dementia Society of America. I'm excited to offer you a free guide to understanding dementia. It's filled with facts about dementia, care planning, how doctors can help, and ways to keep your brain as healthy as possible. The Dementia Society of America is a national nonprofit, and we're ready to answer your questions. You want to live life to the fullest. I know that. Ginny did too, and I'm confident that we can help. Get your copy of the guide. Go to 1-800-DEMENTIA.org or call 1-800-DEMENTIA. Thank you.
What's the Ox say?
Today on Hot Talk with the Ox, hear how the weekend news reacted to last week's UN speeches, especially Netanyahu, right? Then the big military generals meeting this week, mass firings or mass ramping up for international conflict. Uh-oh, the looming government shutdown. Oh, and how about them bikes? But right away, test your recall of last week's shows on Heard It on Hot Talk. See you for Hot Talk with the Ox today from 2 to 5 on KBRF.
What's the Ox say?
Fergus Home & Hardware's Customer Appreciation Event is happening October 3rd and 4th. 2 days of food, fun, giveaways, and in-store discounts. Stop by for food from Bossy Babes and more.
Fergus Home & Hardware, if you have a home we can help.
Parents, tired of conversations that go nowhere?
How was your day?
Fun.
With conversation starters from parenting.org, you can turn fine into fun.
What was the funniest thing that happened today?
I was sitting next to Piper at lunch, and she had this, chicken fish patty thing.
Text CONVO to 51550 for weekly conversation starters, from silly to serious. And connect more with parenting.org from Boys Town.
It's Morning Talk on News Talk 1250 KBRF, brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. Now, here's Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop.
Good Monday morning. Welcome. I am not Dave Bishop. I am Derek Sidian, and joining me today is Zach Daniels. Zach, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. How are you, Derek?
Good. I'm doing good. I don't think I hit the right button for the stream. There we go. Now we're on the screen. Here we go.
Awesome.
It is a Monday morning indeed. What'd you do this weekend, Zach?
Well, let's see. It was kind of an interesting weekend. I went out Friday and hung out with some friends at the local watering hole, which was nice. Got home and slept in, did a little fishing, and got to know my recliner real well. And I got to be honest, I had probably the largest pizza I have ever made at my house this weekend. And I learned something. Apparently, cold pizza is far better than fresh out of the oven hot pizza.
I don't know if I'd personally say better, but cold pizza is definitely good. It's really good.
Well, I had a couple slices while I was watching TV, and then, boy, when I revisited that pizza, it did not last long after it kind of cooled off. It went down far easier. But, yeah, I went fishing, and man, they were not biting. Went to 2 different lakes, and nothing but minnows on the line. How about yourself? Did you do anything interesting?
Well, speaking of fishing, we went to my family and I went to Zorba's yesterday.
Oh, fun!
Over on Ottertail Lake, and I brought my daughter out onto the dock, and I had a photography assignment for school, so I'm trying to like find things to like take pictures of.
Sure.
And she's looking for fish the whole time.
Oh yeah.
But eventually we found some tiny ones, and I kept being like, "Look, do you see the little fish?" Nope.
Nope.
I was just like,
we stood on a beaver dam, and we're casting out at a friend of mine's property. He's got a lake. He kind of owns the property around it, and there's this big old beaver dam on it. And I tell you, 99% of the time when we go fishing out there, all you got to do is get that line in the water to be catching fish. And nope, we either scared them off or it was just not the right time of day, because we went from there to Anderson Lake and cast in the lines, and all we were doing is throwing bait away.
You know, that happens sometimes. But I will say my weekend started off by going to the Otters football game in Princeton.
Yeah,
I
how
was
did that go?
over there on Friday, and it went well. I think the stream went well. It was really interesting. You know, we drove the whole way. I was with our announcer Mark Johnson and his wife, who came along with, and it was just a good time. It was a really fun game to watch. If you haven't watched it already, it is available on the KBRF Radio YouTube channel and on kbrfradio.com or the Fergus Now app. Just go to the little game streaming tab.
I did notice when I tuned in Friday night briefly, and yeah, we had quite a few viewers during the game. I think at
it was
one
a good
point
game.
It was in the hundreds, actually, couple hundred.
There was I would hate to butcher any names of high school students, so I'm not going to. But there was a student that did a punt block very early in the game.
You have to explain what a punt block is. I know so little about sports.
Okay, so so each team gets 4 downs, so 4 attempts to get to the next goal marker along the way. Well, if they're on their 4th one and they're really far away, what they might do is punt. So they basically kick the ball that the other team received to try and get them pushed back.
Okay, so it's a kind of like a turnover play.
Yep, exactly.
Just to try to push them as far down the field as possible.
Exactly. And so what this kid did is he got through the line, and before, like right as the punter was kicking it, he went smacked it. So actually they got more yards towards the Otter goal. There were a bunch of really fun plays like that last Friday. So if you haven't watched it, go check it out. And the one from the Friday before, everyone was talking about this insane catch, and we have that covered right there on the KBRF Radio YouTube channel. It's pretty easy to find, I think. So.
Are we? I believe we're streaming tonight on our sister station, Hit Music Channel 977. Is that correct?
Yep. We have games all week long, pretty much. Other than Wednesday night, we have one every night. 3 are Otter games, and then 1 is a Battle Lake Underwood game on Thursday. So tonight it's boys soccer against Detroit Lakes. Tomorrow there's a mistake currently. I need to fix it still, but it says girls soccer, but it is again boys soccer against St. Cloud Crush. And then I don't remember what football is on Friday, but we have games all week long this week. It's going to be a hectic time.
Yeah, and you could stream all that on the Fergus Now app.
Yep, exactly.
Yes. Excellent. Well, Derek, I got a question for you. So, you're a fan of the Mountain Dew. This is known around the office that you do like a good soda every now and then.
Now and then would be underestimating it. Currently, I've got my soda-streamed Mountain Dew. I normally don't drink it this early in the day, but given that I'm covering for Dave, we're starting early.
Yeah, do we have a certain flavor, or is this just the regular?
Just classic.
Okay, so speaking of classics, Coca-Cola has actually kicked out a retro flavor, and I thought, I should bring this up since Derek likes pop, is they brought back the Diet Coke Lime. So apparently this flavor has been gone for like 7 years, and they're bringing it back for a limited time only. But that leads me to this next pop-related thing. Are you familiar with TikTok?
Yes.
I believe you do a bit of KBRF News shorts on TikTok, if I'm not right.
Since I've gone back from paternity leave, it has been sort of on the back burner, but I do plan on getting back to that.
Excellent. Well, on that note, there is a trend going on with Diet Coke. Now, I'm not a fan of Diet Coke. I'm more of a Mountain Dew person like yourself, but there's a thing where they're taking protein shakes, like a vanilla protein shake, and mixing it with Diet Coke. And this is apparently a popular trend on TikTok now.
Ew.
Yeah, that was exactly what I thought. Is gross. But apparently, there's a lot of people that love Diet Coke.
And I will say, I actually surprised with our general manager Doug with this when we were tearing down from the Wasota 100. We had some leftover pop, and we only had a couple of different Coke products, and so all we had left was Diet Coke and Sprite. And given that I'm a Mountain Dew person, he was like, "Oh, go ahead, grab a Sprite." And I got to look at him and be like, "Actually, between the two, I'm gonna pick Diet Coke."
Diet Coke over Sprite.
Because if I can't get Mountain Dew or Mellow Yellow,
it doesn't
and
matter.
It's a Coke product, I go for Diet Coke.
Gotcha. Yeah, I usually go for a Coke if it's not the old Mountain Dew.
But speaking of, I thought this is what you were going to be talking about, but the Pepsi company just announced, I think it was this weekend or like late last week. Have you heard about the dirty soda trends that have been going on?
No, but elaborate.
So basically, this is something that I used to do, honestly, like on my own time. But basically mix like ice cream or cream in with your ordinary sodas.
Oh, like a root beer float.
Yeah, except I think the
pop?
majority of it's been like cream, specifically. And like a lot of places have been, like in-person places have been picking it up and like offering them as different drinks.
Okay.
But now Pepsi Company has announced that they are going to be releasing can versions of dirty soda. So they're going to have a dirty Pepsi, a dirty, I don't remember what the second one is, but the big one for me is the Dirty Dew.
A Dirty Dew. And so it's like heavy cream that mixes with the pop?
I think typically, obviously with the canned ones, you're not going to want to do that. So I'm not 100% sure how they're doing that there.
It just seems odd to me. I
does.
don't know if I could do that. Like, I don't mind a root beer float even when it melts and you get kind of like that root beer vanilla ice cream flavor to it, but I don't know about Mountain Dew and cream.
Yeah, I'm not so sure, but I will tell you, growing up, like middle school times, I would take all my variations of Mountain Dew and I would pour them in a glass and I put ice cream in it, and you know what? They were generally pretty good.
Nice. Well, so I was looking at the movie box offices. Now, I got to be honest with you, Derek. There is not a lot of good movies, in my opinion, coming out recently. I don't know if you've done a lot of checking out of new movies or going to the theater.
Not since July.
Not since July?
July was like my big month because you had the Superman movie that came out and then the Fantastic Four.
So I have not seen the Fantastic Four movie yet, but I've watched the new Superman. Gosh, we're going on probably once a week now since it's come out. I don't know why, but there's just little parts of that movie that are so good. Like one of my favorite characters in the movie is the robots.
Yep.
Phenomenal. The actor that plays the robot's voice and just the interactions between them, it's awesome. And I loved the interactions and the introduction of the Green Lantern into the Superman film. I thought that was spot on. and I always appreciate a good dog in a movie. So that was, to me, it was just like it's got all the perfect little nuances of a great film, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what the Fantastic Four movie's like, because I'm a fan of Pedro Pascal.
The Fantastic Four movie was pretty good.
Yeah.
I walked out of the theater a little bit disappointed, but I think honestly a lot of that was I was getting so excited behind some of it, and then I had just watched Superman the week before for the first time.
Oh, still got that
And
level
it was
of
so good. It was so good.
Yeah.
And then when Fantastic Four, I was a little bit disappointed. It's a good movie. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I very much enjoyed Fantastic Four First Steps. It was just Superman for me is just such an incredible movie.
Sure.
And there have been some really good movies that have come out this year, like earlier in the year.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
absolutely.
you're talking box office right now.
Yeah, looking.
Not many that I've been paying attention to.
No, and I think number one was that new Leonardo DiCaprio film, The One Battle After Another, which I think he plays like a revolutionary, that like escape prisoner style revolutionary, if I'm not wrong. It took in $22.4 million, but what's surprising to me is that it was kicked out to over 3,500 theaters in the U.S. here, and it only pulled $22 million. Second place is a movie I've never even heard of. It's called Gabby's Dollhouse. Took in 13.5.
Oh, I missed that one on our sheet.
Okay. And then three, I thought was I liked the animated shows as Demon Slayer, the Komatsu, believe it's the Infinity Castle. That one took third, and then fourth place, of course. I was like, huh? Was The Conjuring. They've got 4 of them. So Last Rites just dropped over the weekend.
Are you sure that one's number 4, not number 5?
Nope, number 4. Yep.
Okay.
It's the fourth installment. But the first 3, I mean, I wasn't super impressed. I don't get into a lot of that paranormal kind of film, so to me it was it's like just another version of Poltergeist and all those movies that were fun and interesting when I was super young, and then it just kind of off to the wayside. Give me some more action.
Yeah, and not to say that any of these movies are bad because we haven't watched them, but they just
true.
They were, none of them are really up my alley. You mentioning Gabby's Dollhouse, that sounds familiar, but that is because it is, I believe, a kids' TV show. So that would make sense why it's number 2. You know, you get your kids out to the theater.
Yep.
But
you know, Netflix has been doing pretty good though. There's a new comedy series with Will Ferrell, who is awesome, and Luke Wilson as rival golf champions. So. It's the first, the project marks Farrell's first television comedy lead since reuniting with him along his co-stars from Old School. So that was a great movie. Can't wait to see what the Wendell Baker story is like too. That also appears in. Netflix hasn't given a date on the premiere yet, but I'm thinking probably pretty good. Have you ever seen a bad Will Ferrell show?
Oh, I don't think I have.
I don't think so either. We got anything? Well, let's see.
Well, since we're talking about movie news, do you have an update on Tom Holland?
Oh,
he
yes.
recently got into a really crazy accident on the new Spider-Man movie set.
Yeah, didn't he? He got like a concussion.
Yeah, there were some reports early on that he had even cracked his skull open, and it led to a concussion as well. But I know they were taking at least a week off, and then I started hearing 2 weeks. The official information I haven't heard about recently. Oh, here it is. Tom Holland says he's improving after suffering a concussion during filming of Spider-Man Brand New Day. Production on the film was suspended last week following the 29-year-old actor's injury on set. In a social media post Saturday, Holland wrote, "I'm feeling better and on the mend," with a photo of himself, Zendaya, and family members attending a charity event.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Well, at least he's doing better.
You know, you don't hear that much about major stars getting injured, but within the span of a week, you know, like what did they say last week? Within the span of a week, you had Tom Holland getting injured on set, and then Henry Cavill also had, I believe he had a leg injury.
Okay. Well, you know, speaking of movies and shows, it's probably worth mentioning that KBRF Radio presents Where to Eat. So we've got a new Where to Eat coming, Derek. It's first Friday of the month is coming soon. And that means a brand new episode of KBRF presents Where to Eat.
That means I have more work I have to do this week because I haven't gotten the intro done yet.
Yeah, that's right. And for anybody listening and watching at home, we are going to Fiesta Brava. And that's where the new episode is going to be. And, you know, I got to be honest with you. That was a delicious time. There was a lot of good food.
You know, there's a lot of these places we go to that are, like, further away that I haven't been to. It's nice to sometimes go to a place that you've at least been a few times because it's in town.
Well, and it's nice to see, like, trying new things within that place. You know, like, everybody's got that restaurant they go to. They sit down and they order, you know, this is my go-to. This is my comfort food. It's nice to sit down at one of those places and go, you know, let's try something different. Let's expand the horizons a little bit. So you can check that out on the Fergus Now app, and you can also search it out on YouTube. Just type in KBRF Presents Where to Eat, and check out all the other shows too.
I was gonna say, while you're waiting, watch all the other ones. But there's plenty of really good ones.
Yeah, I think there's 34, 35 episodes now, so we're going into the tail end of season 3, and looking forward to seeing what next year will bring too. We got lots more episodes that'll be coming.
Do you think we could give it? Do we have any knowledge? Do you think we could give a tease of what might be coming down for November?
Ooh, well, there's a few places in the works here, and I don't want to lead you astray. So I'm going to respectfully decline. We're going to keep that a mystery, Derek.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Morning Talk this morning is brought to you as always by Pioneer Care and the American Legion. Coming up, we're going to take a quick break over to the markets, and then we will be back for more News Talk 1250 KBRF Morning Talk.
Today on Hot Talk with the Ox, hear how the weekend news reacted to last week's UN speeches, especially Netanyahu, right? Then the big military generals meeting this week, mass firings or mass ramping up for international conflict. Uh-oh, the looming government shutdown. Oh, and how about them bikes? But right away, test your recall of last week's shows on Heard It on Hot Talk. See you for Hot Talk with the Ox today from 2 to 5 on KBRF.
What's the ox say?
KBRF presents Where to Eat, the culinary adventure sponsored by Dandelion and Burdock and Service Food in Fergus Falls.
Hi, I'm Zach Daniels.
And I'm Dave Bishop, your guide to the region's culinary treasures.
Join us as we explore various restaurants, uncover delicious meals, and highlight each restaurant's signature dish.
Experience diverse cuisine types, unique atmospheres, and must-try dishes. Check it out on KBRFradio.com and the Fergus Now app.
New episodes air every first Friday of the month. Where to Eat, powered by Dandelion and Burdock and Service Food of Fergus Falls.
I'm Derek Sidian with KBRFradio.com News. Join me every Friday at 5 on KBRFradio.com or on the Fergus Now app for the weekly news recap, where I recap this week's hottest local news and you catch up on what you might have missed. From local crime and business news to road construction and car accidents, the weekly news recap keeps you up to date on what you need to know. The KBRF Weekly News Recap is brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonmemorial.com. Memorials that matter.
Previously on the Under the Hood Show. New transmission fluid, when you pour it out of a container, it's ruby red. I mean, it's like Wizard of Oz ruby red. It's a brilliant color. But as it gets affected by debris that comes from the transmission, if you start getting any clutch material into it...
That's what you need to click your heels together 3 times to say, there's no place like the shop. There's no place like the shop.
Listen to the Motor Medics on the Under the Hood Show, Saturday mornings at 9:05 on News Talk 1250 KBRF.
Good morning. I'm Tyler Donaldson here on the Red River Farm Network with your 9:30 market update. Taking a look at the grains to start out. Wheat starting out the week a bit mixed here. Some green on the board there. Corn and soybeans both lower, though, 1 to 3 cents. Bauer Trading Market analyst Ben Cash says the grains are feeling some trading and weather pressures ahead of tomorrow's quarterly stocks report.
We're right ahead of the quarterly stocks numbers tomorrow. Weather-wise, we are seeing pretty wide open forecast for harvest as well as winter wheat seeding. So that leans, both those right now lean a little bit negative. Traders reducing some risk exposure and likely to see some farmers selling here as well, pressuring things. So it's been a quiet, weekend really as far as news-wise. We did get some routine corn sales reports this morning, 100 and some to Mexico, and then another 100 to an unknown, most likely Mexico there. So we continue to see, pretty decent corn sales.
Cattle markets trading mixed here at the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour as well. Feeder cattle 95 cents to $1.37 higher. Live cattle anywhere from a nickel to 40 cents higher. Cash says cattle markets taking a small hit in demand to start out the week.
Kind of a more mixed tone there. We did start a little bit lower, gain a little momentum as we move along here in the early morning. We're up about $1.20 there on the feeder cattle market, up about anywhere from 10 to 50 there on the live cattle. So we are getting a little support from the equities being higher in the lower corn market, but we continue to see some of these box beef prices pull back. So that's kind of a warning sign that maybe seeing a little pushback from the consumers there and looking for cheaper alternatives on protein.
Reporting agriculture's business, you're listening to the Red River Farm Network.
Hey North Dakota, this is Nick Tollefson, your local seed pro in Southeast North Dakota. Channel seed pros like me always show up for our farmers come harvest time, so it's no surprise that some impressive performances are showing up too. Regional conditions play a huge role in performance, and this season we've had pretty good growing conditions. We were a little bit wet early in the growing season, which I think hurt the beans a little worse than the corn. That said, it was a pretty good year. Channel products have shown strong performance and exciting yield potential, helping growers overcome challenges like corn rootworm and Gossis wilt. Our corn has stood out this season. We've seen great performance from channel products like 193.42, 195.15, 199.45, and 200.23. Even with conditions for late season diseases, our corn portfolio continues to deliver outstanding results. Visit channel.com/yield to see harvest results showing up in your neck of the woods. Read and follow pesticide label directions, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices.
Listen to the dry bean scene every Friday here on the Red River Farm Network, brought to you by the North Harvest Bean Growers Association, Johnstown Bean Company, Gowan Company, SRS Commodities, and Heads Up Plant Protectants. We'll track this year's crop potential across the country and get industry perspectives on possible market impacts. It's the dry bean scene every Friday, 12:35, right here on the Red River Farm Network.
With that morning cup of coffee and the Red River Farm Network on the radio, you're ready to take on the day. Farming and ranching is a bottom-line business, and we treat it that way at the Red River Farm Network. Our team of dedicated ag journalists include Don Wick, Tyler Donaldson, and Jamie Dickerman, plus ag meteorologist Drew Lerner. Farm news, markets, and weather from the #1 rated farm radio team in the region. We're the Red River Farm Network, and we're reporting agriculture's business.
Checking quotes now. December wheat Minneapolis is a half cent higher at 5.68 1/4. Chicago December wheat's down 1 cent at 5.18 3/4. KC hard red winter wheat's half a penny higher, 5.06 even. December corn 1 3/4 lower to 4.20 1/4. November soybeans are down 4 cents at 10.09 3/4. In Winnipeg, November canola is $6.60 per metric ton lower to 607.90 Canadian. October live cattle are up a dime right now to 231.90. October feeders are 1.30 higher, 358.30. October hogs are 70 cents lower, $100.80. This is the Red River Farm Network.
I'm Jessica at the Fergus Falls Monument Company. I'm the first person you see when you come through the door, and I also talk to customers every day on the phone. Many of them find choosing a memorial ahead of time is convenient and works best when there is time to plan and think about it. Planning ahead not only gets you the everlasting memorial of your choice, it also helps your family through the grieving process. At Fergus Falls Monument, we can help you plan ahead and choose a memorial made right here locally. Call or stop in or visit us online at foreverstonememorials.com.
Community is important, and you'll find it at Pioneer Point.
Spacious apartments, thoughtfully designed for older adults, provide the best in senior living. Heated parking and elevator access makes life easy. Your neighbors at Pioneer Point hold a welcoming, family-like approach to living. Choosing from an array of special features and options, you'll find many ways to define your lifestyle at Pioneer Point. Call or schedule your tour online today at pioneercare.org.
You like saving money, right? Well, we've got great opportunities at FergusFallsDeals.com. Log on and check out all the products and services available. Great values and low prices. We've got great automotive specials like tires from Fergus Fast Lane, oil changes from Quality Toyota and Fergus Fast Lane, car washes from Wash and Go and Splash Express Car Wash, and auto body repairs from Unique Body Paint and Repair. Log on to set up your account now
at FergusFallsDeals.com.
Fergus Home and Hardware's Customer Appreciation Event is happening October 3rd and 4th. 2 days of food, fun, giveaways, and in-store discounts. Stop by for some in-store specials and more.
Fergus Home and Hardware. If you have a home we can help.
Welcome back to Morning Talk on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Currently, you can see the back of my computer because I'm going to quick go over the weather. It is currently 9:36 and it's 70 degrees currently. Today we're looking at sunny with a high near 87. That's pretty close to the record temperatures here.
Yeah, that's warm.
Yeah, and low of 62 tonight, partly cloudy. So we're looking at a pretty good day today.
Yeah, I'm liking that. We had good last few days. Boy, it's been sunny and 70s. Now we got an 80-degree weather day. Boy, I'm really almost feel spoiled with this weather.
Oh, definitely.
So what's happening in the realm of news and politics, Derek? I something tells me that you're itching to share something here.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about this New York City mayoral race. So around the weekend, New York City Mayor Eric Adams ended his re-election campaign, leaving a three-way contest for City Hall. The race now features Democratic nominee Zohran Mamdani, independent candidate and former Governor Andrew Cuomo, and Republican Curtis Sliwa. Adams announced his decision Sunday, citing financial struggles and media speculation. Adams has faced federal corruption probes, declining poll numbers, and mounting criticism. Yeah, I've seen a lot of things online that a lot of people do not like.
Yeah,
Adams.
you'd mentioned something off air that there's somebody on the ballot that's already withdrawn, and they're not going to be in the running.
Yep, that's current New York City Mayor Eric Adams.
Okay, and then you said that Cuomo is actually going to be running as an independent now.
Yep. So if you haven't been following this race, it's been one that's been really followed because the Democratic nominee Zohran Mamdani is extremely progressive on the left, especially in terms of like what we see in the United States.
Sure. You had mentioned there's a couple things that were actually kind of interesting that he's kind of running. He wants to do like free buses.
And this part of he wants to do free bus fare. He wants to wants to make New York City cheaper for your average resident. One of the really weird things that he wants to do is he wants to make municipal grocery stores. I believe one for every borough.
Yeah, see, no, I normally lean more towards of conservative viewpoints and things like that, but like there are that to me I find interesting. And the free buses thing, as being somebody that's lived in the cities and stuff and used the metro transit systems, affordability is super key, and making that available to everybody, I personally think that's great.
Yeah, I think it's great too, and I'm really interested because I think whether you're for or against what Mamdani has going on, I think it's going to be really interesting if he wins this race, what we see going forward. Is it going to actually stay more of the same, or what are these changes that he wants to make? What is that going to do? So that's why I've been following it.
Okay.
And I find it really annoying that Andrew Cuomo is still in this race. So if you haven't been following it, Zohran Mamdani beat Andrew Cuomo pretty much on a 1-to-1 race for the Democratic candidacy. So when they won, a lot of people were like, okay, Cuomo's been beat. He can back away now. and then immediately, like within a week, he announced that he's going to be running as an independent. And he's actually been pushing Mayor Adams and the Republican candidate, I forgot his first name, Curtis Sliwa.
Okay.
He's actually been pushing both of them to leave. Because he says that we all need to get together to defeat Mamdani. You know, he thinks he has said that Mamdani is dangerous and things like that. And so he thinks that if he thinks that he can beat him on a 1-1. But I find it funny because he already lost. Of all the candidates, he already lost to Mamdani. So what does he think he's going to bring that the other two aren't? And also the assumption that those people are going to go for him and not Mamdani.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of stake in the game, so it'll be interesting to see how that pans out.
I don't either, but I'm very interested. I've been very interested watching this race and seeing it, and then what happens come in New York heading forward once it's over in November. But I just think that whole race is so interesting, and all the different little things that have been going on. So thought it worth mentioning, bringing up.
Yeah. Now, as a fan of movies, I'm going to circle us back towards film and Netflix. This I thought was kind of interesting and worth sharing is that there was 2 teens recently charged after a Netflix account dispute led to gunfire. Those 19-year-old Brian Travis Reynolds and Anthony Constant at 19 were arrested following a gunfire incident that began over a Netflix account. So back in September on the 23rd, the confrontation in San Antonio started when Reynolds changed 20-year-old Vincent Muniz Netflix name to an insult, and then agreed to fight the pair after feeling disrespected, and then apparently arrived home, jumped a fence, and carried a gun in his waistband, which, well, during the altercation, it's when the holding of the weapon and the gun returned to Reynolds as the fighting continued, and shot fired during the struggle left Muniz bleeding from his head. Officials remain uncertain whether a bullet struck him, but both suspects were taken into custody. Now that
just to clarify here.
Yeah.
So Reynolds and Muniz agreed to fight the pair, and then the two of them went to his home, jumped the fence, and then started beating him.
Yeah.
And
then a gun came out.
Yeah. Jeez.
Over Netflix. And really not even over Netflix, but
it was over
changing a name to just insult somebody. But crazy that was even that became a full-blown altercation. But you know, I don't know. It's just a weird world we're living in, Derek.
Yeah, and you know, I'm really curious what kind of insult it was.
Right? What was the name change?
At?
Yeah, what was the name change? You know, and here's something a little bit more positive. There was a new poll that found that younger adults use subtitles more often than older viewers.
So, Zach,
yeah,
I gotta ask you.
Yeah,
do you watch movies or TV shows using subtitles?
I do. It depends on the movie. Like, if let's see, if it's more of a drama, I try to. I read the subtitles more, but if it's like action, if there are subtitles, I'm taken out of the show itself or the movie. You end up just reading a movie, you know. But like for a drama, if it's a little bit a slower progression through the movie, I'll do the subtitles. I know recently I was watching Chief of War, it was the Jason Momoa film. It's completely in subtitles. And if you don't watch it with the subtitles, you have no connection to the movie, no concept of what's going on in the storyline. It's just a bunch of half-dressed tribal people running from one side of the forest to the other, and then interacting between a fire, and then more running around and attacking of one another. You got to have the subtitles.
Which, that's entertainment in and of itself, let's be real here.
Try to figure out what's going on in the film. Yeah, it'd be like Mystery Science Theater if me and a couple of buddies were sitting around watching it with no subtitles, trying to decipher how the movie's playing out. But yeah, about 4 in 10 adults under 45 say they often watch with captions on compared to 3 in 10 over 45. How about yourself? Are you a subtitles person?
So I originally wasn't. Like, I didn't grow up, using subtitles, but my wife, she isn't technically, like, defined as hard of hearing, but she tends to not, she has a difficult time listening to movies or TV shows without being able to read lips or see subtitles.
Oh.
So it was one of those things when we started dating that it was just something she was like, you are going to have to live with this because I need these. I need to be able to use these to really enjoy and understand a movie or TV show.
Wow.
And as I've gone on, I'm just like, yeah, if you miss a piece of dialogue, it's right there. You can see, or if someone's talking in a very, very fast or is speaking in an accent that you might not have a difficult time understanding.
Sure, you pick up a little bit of detail.
Yeah, you get that extra, like, you're like, oh, that's what he said. It wasn't, and it's actually really kind of weird now going into movie theaters that don't, they don't put subtitles. You could get the little caption things, but my wife never wants to. She doesn't want to bother and go out of the way to do that, so she'll watch those movies without it, and
sure.
oftentimes leave the movie theater a little bit confused.
Yeah.
I hate to throw her under the bus, but sometimes she's like, I had no idea what was going on there. I completely missed it. And then we'll rewatch it later at home, and she'll be like, oh, I get it now. That's really good.
Nice.
But yeah, so it's kind of weird now going into movie theaters and not having the subtitles.
Yeah.
For me, but.
So are you a Netflix person or are you like Hulu? Do you have what's your go-to app?
Oh. I think our go-to app right now is Disney.
Disney Plus?
Disney Plus. Just because, I'm a huge Marvel fan. My wife and I are both huge Star Wars fans. And a lot of that stuff is great for the kids.
Oh, sure.
Princess movies.
Yeah, of course. So I kind of rotate. I'll do like a month or two of Netflix, and then you kind of, binge watch and you work your way through all these shows, and then I'll go to Hulu and then kind of back and forth. But there's been a lot going on in Netflix recently, and this is just one more thing. Have you ever heard of The Haunted Hotel? It's like a TV series.
I can't say that I have.
It's returning for a second season, and it's going to be following its recent premiere. The animated comedy features voice performances by Will Forte, Eliza Coupe, Skylar Gonzalo, and Natalie Palomines, and Jimmy Simpson. The show centered around a single mother raising 2 children while managing the Undervale, a hotel that's haunted. Now, again, I don't get into poltergeist stuff very often, but some of these TV shows are kind of interesting. Like there was that Bates Hotel years ago. I watched a little bit of that, and that was kind of interesting. But yeah, I think as of recently, there's not a lot of new movies, but it seems like Netflix has gone heavy, just kicking out shows. So
Netflix has put out one of my favorite movies of the year.
What's that?
K-pop Demon Hunters. Did you get around to watching that one at all?
Mm-mm. What's it about?
It's about this. It's a really silly premise.
Is this like anime?
No. No, not exactly.
Okay.
It takes some like references to anime, but it's a Sony Animation Pictures. So the people who did Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that animation studio, the basic premise is there's demons that are always trying to like take people's souls, and then there's always a group of singers from the Korean singers that will step up and use the power of their song to fight them and fend them off. And now it's in the modern day with this little group of K-pop girls, and then the demons try and fight back with their own K-pop group. It's very silly, but it's very heartfelt. The music is fantastic.
I might have to check that out.
I've listened to some K-pop over the years, but never been like super into it. But I heard so many good things, and we watched it, and it was phenomenal. That was a movie we had on multiple times for a few weeks. Just not even because like it's technically, because it's animated, it's a little bit geared towards children, but there's a lot of adult. I hesitate to say adult themes, but themes that adults can relate to.
Right. So it's for everybody.
Yeah, it's a for everybody film. A lot of people are turned off by the fact that demons are involved and things like that, but it's a very, very good story about shame in typically in collectivistic cultures like Asian cultures, but it's a very good message for everyone.
Well, since we're on the subject of like animated stuff, do you have like a favorite animation that you watch, like whether it's anime or Marvel? I know you're big into the Marvel universe. Is there like your favorite animated TV series?
Ooh, that is a tough
That's a tough
one.
question.
Oh my goodness.
Or animated movie?
I gotta go back. I mean, I will say what Sony Pictures Animation Studios has been doing, not all of their previous stuff, but what they've been doing with the Spider-Man movies and now with K-pop Demon Hunters, I really like that style of animation. They do a lot of like different frames per second, so the characters will look like they're moving in a very particular way. And especially with this movie, they really played with it, where like the characters that were unnatural went at the normal speed while the rest of the characters went at this other speed.
Interesting.
So it creates a visual distinction.
Yeah,
And it's something that's hard to do in like a live action setting where you've got cameras and people. It's really hard to kind of do and make work really well. But in animation, it's just so flawless. Your brain just picks up on it and you don't even realize it.
Nice. Yeah, for me, animated TV series, there's a couple of them hard too, but like my mind always goes back to like an animated movie, like the Heavy Metal movie that came out in the 80s, or maybe even earlier.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, that is absolutely. The soundtrack is phenomenal, but the movie itself it's got to be top 3 of all time. And it's that style, that old hand-drawn, and so the Heavy Metal movie, it's broken up into sections, and each section is done by different artists. So there's a slightly different artistic style to the animation, and it's voiced by tons and tons. It's got John Candy and a bunch of different actors in it, but it follows the story of like a bunch of different people. But I don't know what it is about it. It's got futuristic stuff. It's got science, sci-fi, fantasy. It's all kind of coupled together. So whenever I see like animated films, like even in like the anime, like in the anime world, what is it called? Oh, it slips my mind now. There's so many different ones, but the style I always lean towards that, like hand-drawn animations. That's always been my favorite.
Speaking of John Candy, you brought him up briefly. Have you seen all the news about the Spaceballs sequel?
Boy, I could talk at length about that. Mel Brooks and what's his name? He's coming back. He's been on hiatus for a very long time. Rick Moranis. Yeah. You know that Mel Gibson is going to be 100 years old when that movie comes out?
You mean Mel Brooks?
Mel Brooks, sorry. Not Mel Gibson.
Wrong Mel.
Yes, wrong Mel.
I'm really excited for it.
I wonder what they're going to call it. Do you think it'll be Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money?
It better be. I have to say it better be. But did you see the picture that they released?
No.
Recently? So back in 2015, or I guess it probably even earlier than that, because that's when the movie came out. But back when the Star Wars: The Force Awakens came out,
oh sure,
they took this picture of the entire cast like reading the script, and they did in like black and white, and they basically kind of recreated that picture with the Spaceballs cast.
Oh, awesome!
And it's got all the new members. I don't know if you've been paying attention to those, but
I know that there was some mention of Gats being in the film. But Rick Moranis, Mel Brooks, Pullman. Is it Pullman's going to be back?
Yep, Bill Pullman and his son Louis Pullman, who's been, becoming more and more a star of his own.
My curiosity is how they're going to play these roles out with John Candy being gone, because Barf was such a, he had a pretty iconic role in the film. So
I think so. One of the big creatives behind this movie has been Josh Gad.
Josh Gad, that's what I meant, not Gads.
Yep. So I think there's a good chance that he is going to be like a descendant of.
That would be cool.
Because Luz Pullman's going to be the son of. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's escaping me.
Lone Star.
Lone Star. I kept thinking Star Lord. Lone Star. So he's going to be Lone Star's son. And so I think they're going to go with Gad being the son of Barf.
Cool.
And then, but you've got other stars like Keke Palmer and Anthony Kerrigan.
Oh, sure.
That I'm very interested to see what they do, especially since Josh Gad brought the film to Mel Brooks, and it wasn't Mel Brooks originally. I'm really curious. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yes.
Is the wording I'll use.
I'm really interested to see how this plays out, and it'll be nice to see Rick Moranis back on the screen after many, many years of not being in film.
Yeah, and I think a project is special when you can get those kind of people to come back.
Absolutely, absolutely. Looking forward to all that. Big fan of the movies. Big fan.
So what are you looking forward to this week? It's a Monday. What do you got going on this week?
Well, I'm going to be putting together the final edits for the newest episode of KBRF Presents Where to Eat, which is going to come out Friday. So we got a few more things. I've got a couple things up my sleeve in the editing realm to give it kind of a fun little twist on it. So we'll be putting that together, and then love the midday show on KJ Country 96.5. So you can always tune in and listen to me carry on with my bad self. Otherwise, business as usual, I'd say. What about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of work coming in. Like I said, like we've said before, and I'll mention again, we've got sports streams all week this week. So it's going to be a lot of work just like getting those ready.
Right.
But it's very exciting. I think we're improving every time. We have people coming in, so like myself, you, or Dave don't have to be at all of these games.
Yeah, I think we got Wild Bill helping out with sports games now.
Yeah,
it's nice to see him back in the building.
Oh yeah, and he's doing tonight's game. I'm really excited for that.
Shout out to Wild Bill, who's probably listening right now.
But we're doing a lot of great stuff, and I'm really excited. I really want more people to watch this because it's really
it's coming along.
It's coming along, and this is the way things are starting to go. So it's really beneficial to be supporting these local teams and the local businesses that support them.
Absolutely, I agree.
So, but I guess that puts a wrap on our show today. Morning Talk brought to you this morning and every morning by Pioneer Care and the American Legion. Zach, thank you for joining me
Absolutely.
today.
Thanks, Derek.
You will be back Mary and Dave will be back with you in your regularly scheduled programming tomorrow. But for now, adios.